there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with match number 4, I believe we're in, for the Seasons Pass control. This one's fine. It's got the Liliana on turn 3 on time. This is a card. Liliana is probably a card that should be at least a 2 over 3 of in this deck. I think it's very strong versus these aggressive decks are doing wonders. I think Weaver is a card I could definitely bring back in into the sideboard. Weaver is key. Yeah, look at all of these. This could be Flash, though. Inspector's used in the majority of the white red artifact decks. It's also used a lot in the Flash decks, so it's a common turn 1 drop. So I'm just going to go Smoldering Marsh. Next turn we have Transgress that can take out a Spell Queller if it is U-White Flash. And the Painful Truths are going to be a little bit painful in this one. It's going to be Black, Eiley. Alright, so he's got a nice aggressive draw with Black-White aggro. See if we can compete against this. Radiant Flames is going to do very good versus this deck. They use a lot of tokens in this particular strategy. So we'll have the Transgress. I'd love to run Hissing Quagmire, but it's unnecessary at this point. I'd rather get the value out of the Transgress, get like a Gideon. Angel of Invention, there we go. So we're in great shape. Our opponent only has the Grasp of Darkness that does absolutely nothing, and the does get an Inspector, so he's going to crack a clue, because we know what the rest of the cards are, and swing for 3. So here Liliana can at least start providing us some defense. We can take Eiley down a notch. But Liliana's going to be taking 2 damage next turn. Possibly more. Or just an Anguish of Making comes down. Okay. So the Inspectors come in for 2. And see if I can draw a Sweeper. Deadweight's actually pretty good. I can put it on Eiley. And then do a Painful for 2 rather than a Hissing Quagmire. I think that's fine. So we'll Deadweight, which neutralizes, and at least draw 2 cards. This is more expensive. Read the Bones. Two of the Slaughter's very weak here. Traverse can't get anything at the moment. So we have Sorcery, Sorcery. Again, we don't hit Delirium that often. So Eiley kills the old Eiley. And again, our opponent is swinging in for 2. And unfortunately, we missed. I am going to Painful for the full 3 this time. Allows us a Grasp of Darkness and a Nissa's Renewal. So yeah, okay. So we draw out of this quite well because Eiley bites the dust next turn. Opponent only has 2 cards in hand. Syndicate Trafficker. Still going to take care of Eiley. We have the Renewal next turn, which will kind of negate his swing the following turn. I'll crack the clue rather than for Syndicate. So I'd love to draw into a Radiant Flames here. Ha! And we did. Wow, actually got the card of choice. So we'll Radiant Flames, and then actually keep up instead of Hissing Quagmire, we'll keep up a 2 the Slaughter. We have Artifact, Sorcery, 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 Instant. So no land yet for the 2 the Slaughter to actually have the Delirium. But I'm pretty sure the 3rd Eiley, which we will kill. So now the Renewal will come out. We have a Murder backup. And still no Delirium for the Traverse. And we still don't have a Seasons Past. So throw out another Hissing Quagmire. And then start swinging in with Hissing Quagmires. We have Murders as backup. And as soon as we can get one more creature type in the graveyard, because Liliana did get exiled. Murder that, the Bygone Bishop. And one of these days we will hit a relevant threat. But this is also a decent game plan. Alright, no play by our opponent. He does have 4 cards in hand, and this is getting ridiculous. We will keep the pressure on with the Quagmires. Almost want to traverse here. Yeah, you can Anguish on making one of those. You can grasp one. Sure. I am definitely okay with that. So we have lands galore. Westfell's a annoying card for sure. Noxious Gearehulk. Grasp again. All right. Give me a target for the Noxious Gearehulk. Eileen number 4? Zulport Cutthroat. Yep, I will kill the Zulport Cutthroat. Well, Hissing Quagmire number 3. And we actually do have Traverse mana. Because we have land instant. I forgot that after that Hissing Quagmire, land came. So now we successfully got rid of the Grass of Darkness. I am going to Traverse for a we'll do Kalitas here. He's used 2 Grass of Darknesses. It gains life. Tireless Tracker should have been the thing I tutored a few turns or after that first Hissing Quagmire died, and that would have given me some card advantage. And he's got on the Noxious Gearehulk. That is surprising. I think you'd want to kill Kalitas there. Kalitas is incredibly powerful, potent against this type of deck, but this is going to be the killer card. The season's past. And we get 1, 0, 1. Transgress is our 2. Painful Truths are to the Slaughter. We want to the Slaughter, I think, for 3? Or do we want Murder? I think I want 2 the... Well, Westfell Abbey's getting close. Whoops. There's 2. Do I have any more targets for Nissa's Renewal? It's better than, in my opinion, than Noxious Gearehulk here. I'm actually going to grab Painful Truce. So Nissa's Renewal. And grab the last 3 lands. So we are not top decking lands. And we'll traverse here for a Tireless Tracker, which actually is not going to give us much value at all, but it's still value. And we're really out of I mean, our opponent still can cast like a Mirrornet Master and then have the Westveil. Does have the Anguish Unmaking. That'll take his turn, put him down to a 3, which puts him in range of a Quagmire. And we do draw another land. I guess the more the merrier at this point, the Tireless Tracker. And then we'll play the Hissing Quagmire. Investigate. Well, we'll use a Painful Truce. And there's a Diabolic Tutor combo, but Nissa just wins the game here. Alright. So, I am just going to concede the Kalitases and Tireless Trackers with all those Grass and Anguish Unmakings, I think. I'm not 100% sold on that. We'll bring in the Radiant Flames. And Shamble Back doesn't do a lot. It kills like, I guess, or not. Yeah, Shamble Back I don't think I need to. Deadweight's going to stay in. The Dragonmaster Outcast, again, there's just too many things that he's running to kill it. Appetite of the Natural State, probably don't. It's like, we need high impact cards like Chandra and Ob Nixilis here. And I think I actually will keep in the Seasons Pass in this one. He is quick, but not as quick as some decks. So I think that just getting to the late game and then having the Seasons Pass is the right move. There's been so many games where I've just kind of controlled and then ran out of things to do. And that's why Seasons Pass is so important. So we'll bring in Ruinous Path and Essence Extraction. I think they're both fine here over Kalitas. I'm going to keep in one Kalitas, take out the Ruinous Path. And then, because the Anguish Unmaking, Grass of Darknesses, he's probably going to keep them in. This gives him a target. And that's a whole decision I need to make. Do I take out a Diabolic Tutor or Seasons Past and whatnot? I could go Dark Salvation out for something else, like another Kalitas or Tireless Tracker. I think that's... Dark Salvation... Yeah, Dark Salvation is actually good because he is running the Indestructible guy. So I think that's worth it. But I do want... We'll just run one Ob Nixilis, one Chandra, and then that way we can put in like a more diverse package. Gives us room for one more Tireless Tracker. I think they're actually necessary. Terrible hand. We're going to ship it back. And I'll keep it and put the Force on top. So far so good. We do need to draw into lands for the Seasons Past. But a Painful Truce even for 2 is fine. And this Extraction will kill an Eiley or another card like Eiley. Transgress works. Maybe we'll take the Seasons Past. It is the... Takes the Painful Truths. Alright, so... Yeah, it's not bad either. So we do find the other land. We're getting close for the Seasons Pass, 2 away. 2 the Slaughter is going to take care of anything next turn. Gives me more options with the Essence Extraction, or it doesn't cast anything here. So Grass of Darkness is fine. Gideon is actually a little bit rough. If he throws out a Gideon next turn. Oh no, it doesn't, because the 2 the Slaughter just takes care of it. There's the Inspector. And I'm actually going to use the Essence Extraction because the 2 the Slaughter is just weak at this point. Ob Nixilis, good card. Now we need a land next turn. I have a lot of ways around Westvale Abbey with this deck with Blighted Fen and the 2 the Slaughter. Double Grass can also take care of Westvale Abbey. And there's an Enthusiast. Yeah, not going to use 2 the Slaughter quite yet. I'll keep it for a Westvale Abbey. And we do hit the land, so very, very good card. Could have an Anguish Unmaking, but he'll have to use a card for a card, and I get a card out of this. And we find the Forest, so even if he kills it, we now can fire off a Grass of Darkness and get back the Essence Extraction. I think that's actually worth it with the Seasons Past. To get back an Ob Nixilis, a Grass of Darkness, and an Essence Extraction. See if a Master comes down. Angel of Invention. So Ob Nixilis does not die, though. Goes to a 1. And we will grass that thing. There's the Westphal. Smoldering Marsh is fine here. I'll just grasp it right now. I guess I could have waited. And we'll draw a card and lose a life. And he knows not to go all out and on to the slaughter. We'll lose Ob Nixilis. That hurts. Another Angel of Invention. We need those Radiant Flames. Where are you at, Radiant Flames? Gone through a decent amount of cards. The servos are spawning. Yep, it happens. Unfortunately, we drew another land. So we have to Seasons Past. And take an insane amount of damage. Might just be lethal. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If he sees the out, then I lose here with the Shambling Vent. A Master. Most likely he'll just put the counters on the Marionette Master. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Because then that gives me some bad options. Of course, the Westphal Abbey coming out next turn. And forcing me to kill off the Master. Because Chandra, I don't believe Chandra does anything here. I can cast a few cards. I can't chain them. I can kill the Marionette Master. There's no way I can get around the Westphal Abbey, so I'd have to kill the Marionette Master and then die to Angel of Invention. Because we have the Grasp. Actually, we don't have Grasp and Chandra mana anyway. Chandra, yeah. To the slaughter. I need one more way. We have to Grasp. And Essence Extraction it. These become 1s. Yeah, the Westphal Abbey, though, kills me. That's the whole thing. So, he had me dead, though, with the Shambling Vent. That would have been 18 damage exactly. So the Angel of Inventions, I have to keep those down. We have the cards, though. We have the Radiant Flames. There's 4 of them. So this is perfect for a deck like this. It's very, very hard for them to beat that. So Kalitas is not going out. Same with Tireless Tracker. We're going to try to be... I'll bring in even the Ruinous Path. Even though, actually, I don't really necessarily like the Ruinous Path. I think we have plenty of ways to interact with our opponent. I mean, it does kill the Masters. Noxious Gearehulk does too and comes out in the same time, and so does Ob Nixilis, and I think I'd rather have cards like that. Nissa Vital Force can come out. I think it's just too slow. Chandra's there another way to kill. Chandra just doesn't seem like the right card in this one. So I'm gonna and then we're gonna keep one Diabolic Tutor, 1 Seasons Past. And then that way Murder and Ruinous Path can come back in. I think we still need to try to take care of her. I mean, Transgress actually isn't too terrible in this now. They went to the later game strategy. But, yeah, we'll submit this. Have a lot of play versus this deck. This is probably the most ideal matchup. So, we see Radiant Flames hand. You snap keep it. And we'll go get that mountain. So he can transgress it before I can respawn. So depending on how fast my opponent is how fast I blow the Radiant Flames. Vent, so no first turn play. Quagmire makes my decision making pretty easy there. Most likely going to Tireless Tracker. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a Transgress. Should take the Radiant Flames. I could see the argument for Tireless Tracker. Okay, well, at least Tireless Tracker can draw us into something. Unless he's got a Grasp or a Anguish I'm making. Brutality, I could actually rip out some cards, but when you have the opportunity to slam down a tracker, you go for it. Because this is going to force his hand on his turn to Anguish on making it, which then can lead for a Planeswalker, and he doesn't actually have the Grasp or Anguish, so it's just going to be an Inspector, which means we're going to get the clues off of the Tireless Tracker. Draw into Radiant Flames. Start the Tireless Track down, beatdown. And we are going to use Collective Brutality. And just look at an instant sorcery card. That's all. I want the land, so I'm not going to get rid of the forest. So all I want to do is get rid of like an Anguish making or a Transgress. Could easily miss here. Grasps. Double Grasps. Angel of Invention, Weaponcraft, Enthusiast. So, fortunately, the Tireless Tracker is most likely going to bite the bullet. To a Grasp. Kept the Grasp in. So this is a hand that I'm not going to get much value of the Tireless Tracker, but got some value nonetheless. Yeah, sure. Crack his clue. And we take one, go down to a 19, and we will crack our clue at end of turn. And we need some Painful Truce, is what we need. Had the red sources for Chandra. No Angel Invention quite yet. There's the Enthusiast. So he's going for a good big play next turn. Guess I should have done a... Alright, that was a very good card to draw into. So we Painful Truce. And... well... Takes care of the Angel Invention next turn. But, I mean, he's got the Servos. And the Westvale. We actually can answer the Westvale Double Grasp of Darkness. And he's just going to slam down an Angel of Invention. Puts out the Servos. And we do need a Radiant Flames next turn, because he is threatening that Westvale Abbey. Although we do have the Double Grasp of Darkness, which could easily be sufficient. Drew another land. Radiant Flames. Wipes the servos, but that was only basically 2.5 cards that we got rid of. Our opponent still has plenty of cards in hand. And we have an uneventful hand of Grasp. Or Grasp, Smoldering Marsh. So another like Angel of Invention just gets him right back in this. So, yeah, gross. Do need to grasp it though. Leaves back 2 servos. Hissing Quagmire can actually take care of those. Pretty good. 2 Angel of Inventions taken care of. A Ruinous Path. Do I just go for the beatdown here and Ruinous Path a servo token? I don't think I do. I wait till he gives me something to. Rather do this than react to like a Grasp of Darkness on his turn, so might as well get in for the damage. And there's combo, so that's something I'll Ruinous Path. And an Eiley, so at this point, he does get some damage off of it. And I go to an 8. And we'll grass the Eiley as well. There's 4 Grasp of Darknesses we don't have to draw into. We do, however, get to draw into land. I'm going to keep it in hand. This is so bad. I think I have to, though. Does not feel good to have to cast on a mountain. I'd rather just trade 1 damage. He can activate the Shambling Vent, which will give him a play here. But now he can't crack a clue. So we need to find our 3rd Radiant Flames before we get outdrawn. Like a Marionette Master off the top would be very good. So he decides, yeah, the clue's going to be the route that he's going to go. Oh, this is so dirty. The Flood. Anguish of Making, possibly? Because I will make that trade. Really? Okay, that's awesome if it's just going to take a card for a card. And he'll crack the clue. And still 2 cards in our opponent's hand. And finds the 3rd Angel of Invention. Jeez. Gotta make the trade. Still gets rid of a servo. And can we draw a card? Tireless Tracker, beautiful draw. And Noxious Gearehulk will be good. Next turn to take care of the Angel of Invention. Just going to come in with the Angel. Okay. So 5, the Noxious Gearehulk will kill it. We still are starting to get closer to... I think this is 1 life here with the Angel. Stabilizing. I'm going to go ahead and crack a clue. And there's Kalitas. Kalitas is actually incredibly good here. The Westvale can start to breed. The Inspector was probably the best draw that our opponent actually could have drawn into there, because it gives me a card and... the Bygone Bishop, yeah. Which is a flyer. I actually can't even take care of it. Tireless Tracker and Kalitas on 1 turn. Sure. Other than if he gets 1 more creature, he can go... yeah, so I need to go Kalitas here. Because the 2 the Slaughter can take care of the... What can he do for 1? No, I think I need to... Let's see, so he drops the Tireless... No, he can drop an Inspector, and then 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, I can't do it. I have to keep back the Tireless Tracker. So he's got 1 activation. I think I need to attack in here. Because I can always activate a Hissing Quagmire. And I have a blocker in the form of Kalitas. He does know I have a 2 the Slaughter in hand. I'm going to allow it to happen. See if he names 2 the Slaughter. Because I could have responded there. Seasons pass. Okay. So he's keeping me from coming back in this game, but it's not... Now I feel very far ahead, because Kalitas is going to gain me some life. And it didn't... I mean, that card draw didn't do anything really relevant. And I think I actually do use 2 the Slaughter here. Because our opponent has to block, which will keep him away from... Enthusiast doesn't give him enough cards. This just kills a Servo, which seems really bad. But he's close to that Westvale Abbey. Oh, please. Please sack that Inspector. Okay. That would have given me a zombie. So, a murder. Yeah, that's actually really good here. Whoops, I think I could have just... No, because he's got a Shambling Vent. So now we just attack him with both. I'm going to keep him off the Bygone. I think that's the way that he gets back in this. So the Vent. And now he can block. That seems bad too. Yep, that's just going to be game. Because that's exactly how we want to block. That'll give us our life back, take him down to a 2. Kill all... Whoops, I should have assigned him differently. It would have given me another 2/2 zombie, but I mean this is too far for our opponent to come back. I don't think even like a Marionette Master. I only might have drawn into the Marionette Master. Wow. Okay. But I mean, with the activation of Hissing Quagmires, the gaining life off of the, no, you're still dead. Yeah, that was the wrong move there. He had to actually create the servo tokens because this has menace. And now he just dies to the crack. And Ob Nixilis does it too, but anyway. And that's game. All right, so not bad. Not bad. We went 3-1 with the deck. I think that performed pretty well. I think that we need some tinkering with the deck. Cards like, let's just go look at the deck list really quickly. I think another Liliana is something that this deck absolutely wants. I also think that it definitely wants the Weaver of Lightning. I think that these creature-based decks are, you'd think it would be easier to deal with than they have been. I think that, where do we have the excess unnecessary cards? I think maybe a Tireless Tracker can come out, and that allows us to put in Weaver. I'm not sure how many Weavers the deck would want, maybe 2. And that gives us another thing to drop. Maybe it's, in this deck, maybe it's just better than Radiant Flames. Because with Weaver, with the Grasp of Darkness, we could actually have a way to take care of the councils, the Sky Sovereign flagship, and Radiant Flames does seem really weak against like these vehicle based decks, but I think that 4 of is a necessary. Moving the Dragonmaster Outcast main, I think would be right. It is a 1/1, has to be dealt with. And then the Dark Salvation, you didn't get to see, this card does end up being quite good in the deck. The Deadweight and the Shamble Back Collective Brutality, maybe it's just Transgress. Maybe we just, Transgress is a key card. Grass and Transgress are key cards versus the blue-white Flash though. And so I'd have to mess around with the list, but I think that this is where we want to jam in Weaver. I think that Chandra actually wasn't as good as we'd like it to be. And Dragonmaster Outcast is basically for that control matchup. But so far they haven't been siding out the removal. They've been keeping it in for Tireless. And I think that maybe, yeah, it's the 2 of Tireless and the Kalitas are probably the right route. And then Liliana as a 2 of, maybe just go to 1 Seasons Pass. I like to keep the 2 in because the Seasons Pass, having 2 Seasons Pass mean if they rip one out, you still have another one. But in all honesty, maybe Seasons Pass isn't that necessary, and Painful Truth's just the right route to go. I do like the 1 of Seasons Pass. Maybe don't even care about tutoring for it with the Diabolic Tutor, so 1 and a 1. And if it gets exiled, it gets exiled. And the other Seasons Pass can go sideboard. Maybe that's a decent option. I think that, yeah, that sounds fair. And that way we can jam in a few more cards into the main. Like possibly another Radiant Flames. It's really good in the matchups that it's good against. I think a 2-2 split is or even S6, yeah, a 2-2 split is probably ideal. And then we can put in a full package of Weaver of Lightning. So now we're definitely not going to suffer versus those creature-based decks. And then lastly, we can take 1 more Swamp. I think we're running enough basics and put in that last Smoldering Marsh. And that way we'll have the red sources we need to cast a Weaver on time. Between the Evolving Wilds, the Traverse the Ulvenwald, the Pilgrim's Eye, the Weaver should come out at a decent time. And the Weaver, we were having trouble versus the Chopper. Weaver's great versus it. Gives them more targets for their Grasp of Darkness, but they still have to keep it in. And I think that's a plus in a control-based deck. If they have to use their cards to kill your cards, they're not really doing what they want to be doing by trying to push through the damage. So I hope you enjoyed this match. It's been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.